Good afternoon, everyone. Last class we have covered with directed acyclic graph in brief. So in today's class, I'll give more stress on again directed acyclic graph, then followed by there is one important concept called as tree address code. We'll take the same example or the grammar which I have done in the last class. To start, begin with variants of syntax tree. Under this, we will be studying important concept called as DAG, that is directed acyclic graph. So this entire topic comes under one main chapter, that is intermediate code generation. Okay. I will take one small example. A plus for this example, how the directed acyclic graph looks. So basically directed acyclic graph is nothing but a graph where there are directions plus that graph should be free from cycles. And for this example, the directed acyclic graph looks like this. This is a directed acyclic graph. So this is nothing but a syntax tree itself, but there is a minor change. The change could be, by looking at this graph, we can conclude that any node or a single node can have more than one parent. The meaning is, look at this A. A has two parents, namely plus and star. So this is allowed in case of directed acyclic graph, and this is the major difference between directed acyclic graph and a syntax tree. Okay. When you want to draw a normal syntax tree here, even that syntax tree looks like this directed acyclic graph, but there you will have more number of edges. In case of syntax tree, you might take this A as two A's. One A will be the left child of plus, and the other A could be the left child of star. Similarly, this operation, that is B minus C, is reflected only once here in case of directed acyclic graph, but whereas if you draw a normal syntax tree, then this has to be computed two times. Okay, so it will come somewhere the left of star and right of star also. They have joined here, making sure that this minus is having two parents and both are star. So like combining the operators can be done in directed acyclic graph. And when you look at this graph, the leaves are nothing but the operands, and whereas the internal nodes, including the root, they are the operators. And this is in brief about directed acyclic graph. Last class we have seen one grammar also, that I'll write now. Yeah, we have a production followed by the semantic rules that I have done in the last class. Now important thing is steps. Steps for constructing directed acyclic graph for this expression. P1 to P4, we are supposed to create the leaves, and to create a leaf, we have a keyword called leaf. So this will create the leaves, and there are entries for these parameters, or for this keyword that I'll explain. So look at these 4 operations. These are the steps for constructing DAG. First step, that is P1 is equal to leaf of ID comma entry A. ID stands for identifier, and entry hyphen A is nothing but the entry which is there in the symbol table which refers to small a. Similarly, because A has appeared twice, so we are going to create 2 times that A. So these 2 will do it. So here also leave ID comma entry A, which is same as the first one. So hence we have given it as P1. So P2 is same as P1. These are the operations, and both are same. Both denote the identifier A. This third operation is P3 is equal to leaf ID comma entry B. So this entry hyphen B is nothing but the entry which is there in the symbol table which refers to the symbol B. Similarly for C also we have the 4th option. Then 5th is P5 is equal to what this will do is, this P5 will create a node and it will have 3 parameters, minus, P3 and P4. So basically this will create B minus C. So minus will act as a root for both P3 as well as P4. So P3 will be the left child and P4 is the right child of minus. So P3 is nothing but entry B and P4 is C. So B will act as a left child and C will act as a right child for this minus. So that is nothing but B minus. Now the 6th operation, P6 is equal to node So based on this, what it will do is, again it will create a node, and the root for that node is star, and left child is P1, right child is P5. Okay. So P1 is A and P5 is this. So basically what this will do, 6th operation is this part, that is A star B minus C will be created by rule number 6. How? Star will be the root. P1 is nothing but A, so that will act as a left child, and P5 will act as a right child, and P5 is the result of this B minus C. So this A star B minus C is created by rule number 6. P7 is equal to node plus, this sequence doesn't make any difference, but the order is also very important. Why it is? Because you cannot take operations directly without taking the operands into consideration first. That sequence also matters. So what this will do is, this rule number 7 is going to create this part, where plus is the root, the left child is P1, P1 is for A, so that left child is A, and P6 is nothing but this part, starting with the root. So rule number 7 will create this almost left part or left subtree. Then we have rule number 8. P8 stands for creating a leaf node for B, and which is same as P3. B and C has appeared multiple times, 2 times B and 2 times C. So we have created 2 times. Similarly, we need to create now P9 for C. Which is same as I guess P4. Yeah. Then again we need to create this node. We called as P10. The operand or the operator is minus. Then we have P3 and P4, which is the same as P5. So these three, 8, 9, 10, will create again B minus C. Then 11, P11 is equal to leaf ID, comma, entry D, because we need to create this D also. Then P, I'll write here, 12 point is P12. Now we need to join these. So node star we use P5 and P11. P5 is this part, that is B minus C. So this is P5 and P11 should be right of star. So P11 is nothing but newly created D. So star is the root, P5 is the left child and P11 is the right child. Star is the root, this part is P5 and this part is P11. Then now we left with only one option, that is the root. We need to create this, that is the final step, 13. So P13 is equal to node, operator is plus the parameters. The parameters are, one is P7 and the other one is P12. P7 is nothing but this entire left subtree and P12 is this part. Now when rule number 13 says node plus P7 P12, so plus will be the root, this is P7, this is P12. So this is how the directed acyclic graph is constructed. These are the steps for creating directed acyclic graph for this example using that. I hope it's clear. So there is one subtopic under variants of syntax tree. That is called as value number. Value number method for constructing DAG. Value number method for constructing a directed acyclic graph. We'll see with a small example. This is a simple directed acyclic graph. The meaning of this is I is equal to I plus 10. For this expression, this is a directed acyclic graph. Now how this will be stored in the array? whatever the operators or the operands are present, okay, how these will be handled and how these will be stored. This will be stored in the array in the form of record. One row is for one operator or it could be for one operand. When you look at this expression, that is I is equal to I plus 10, this is how it will be stored. ID num plus equal to. These two operators, and they'll take the operand, left child or right child, we'll see that. Okay? And numbers are given. I stands for identifier, and it could be, there is the arrow or there is a pointer which will point to the entry for I, which is there in the symbol table. Okay. Now for number 10, num is an, we can say these are opcodes. Num is an identifier or opcode, its value is 10, that is what we have used. This plus we have done 1 and 2. What could be the meaning of this 1 and 2? The left child of this plus is the entry for 1, which is nothing but ID, and 2 is nothing but the right child of plus, and that is the number. Okay. For this, left child is I and right child is number. Okay. Similarly, look at this equal to 1 and 3. 1 is the left child and 3 is the right child. 1 stands for identifier. For this equal to, ID is the left child and 3 is nothing but the plus, that is acting as a right child. This is very simple concept, and hence it is called as value hyphen number. Values followed by the numbers. This is very simple concept. Okay. This is also there as part of your syllabus. And there is one small algorithm which will compute the value number method for constructing the nodes of a directed acyclic graph. Okay, then now we'll directly go to tree address code. Very important concept, tree address code. You know, the title of this topic is intermediate code generation. Whenever you want to generate an intermediate code, okay, there has to be some conversions between the expressions, and there is a representation for the expressions. There could be any number of representations, and one among them is tree address code. We'll see that in detail. What is a tree address code? In case of tree address code, there is at the max one operator at the RHS. Okay, when you take any expression, make sure that there is only one at the max one operator at the RHS. Look at this equation: I is equal to I plus 10. This belongs to tree address code. Why? Because when you look at the RHS, that is I plus 10, you have only one operator. That's fine. At the max one operator, and there may not be any operators also. So if the RHS does not have any operators, then also we can say it is tree address code. Now look at this expression, x plus y star z. It has two operators, but this is not a tree address code because of more than one operator. Now can this be converted into tree address code using temporary variables? So this is possible. How? To compute this, you break into one operator. So when you look at this x plus y star z, this will be computed first, y star z. So compute y star z and give a temporary name for this. So T1 will hold the result of y star z. Okay. So this part is over. Now this result has to be added to x. Okay. So x plus whatever the result of y star z, that is already there in T1. So x plus T1 is again 3 address code because the RH will have only one operator. This entire thing will be, you can store it in T2. T2 will hold the result of x plus y star z. So this is how an original expression can be converted to a 3 address code. This is one small example. Again, there are varieties in 3 address codes. So we can call them as quadruples 4, triples 3. Now we'll see what is that 4 and 3. And the third one is indirect triples. Okay. First we'll study a quadruple. The format of this quadruple is, it has 4 parts. The first part is the opcode or the operation. Second part is, or the second parameter is the first parameter, the first operand. It will be like this. We have opcode. If I want to give the definition which is there in the textbook, a quadruple has 4 fields, which we call as this is how it will be written. Opcode, that is the operation between argument 1 and argument 2, and the result. One example is x is equal to y plus z. When you look at this expression, what could be the operation? The operation is nothing but plus. Plus is the operation. Y is the argument 1. Tell me what could be the argument 2? It is z. And what is the result? The result is x. This is how the quadruples will be written. When I write this in the form of quadruples, it will be like plus y, z and there are some important notes to be written. There are 3 points which I'll read now. The first point regarding this quadruple is instructions with unary operators like, you know what is an unary operator? X is equal to minus y. This minus y is an unary operator. Or minus is called as a unary operator. Okay. First instruction is, the instructions with unary operators like x is equal to minus y, whatever, do not use argument 2. Do not use this argument 2 because this has only one argument. Okay. Second point is operators like param. This is about parameters. So operators like param use neither arg2 nor result. When you have this like this, you don't have to worry about argument 2 and the result. They are missing. The third point says conditional and unconditional jumps put the target label in results. So when you have jump statements, it may be conditional or unconditional. It will store it in a result. These are the 3 aspects of quadruples. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll take one 3 address code and we'll try to write the quadruple. Okay, related to that. We'll take the same example. What we took for construction of directed acyclic graph. First, what we'll do is we'll try to write this in using 3 address code. Then we'll convert it to quadruples. So first I'll write 3 address code, then quadruples. Or here they have taken different examples. We'll change this. Okay. We can write it for this also, but we'll try to take a simple example. So what they have taken is A is equal to B star minus C plus B star minus C. First I'll explain how this expression works. Look at this expression. A is equal to B star minus C plus B star minus C. So minus C is unary operator. So that has more priority. So this will be computed first. Then the result of this will be multiplied with B. So B star minus C will be computed. Similarly here also minus C is multiplied with B. So when you compute B star minus C and B star minus C, then these two results will be added with plus. So when I want to write the 3 address code for this, T1 is equal to minus C. So minus C is stored in T1. Now we have to multiply that minus C with B. So in that case, it will be B star T1. So basically this T2 will hold the result of B star minus C. Minus C is computed here and that will be given here. So it is B star minus C that is stored in T2. Again there is one variable called T3 which will hold minus C. No doubt we already have T1 that will compute the same thing, but again they have used different. Okay. Now T4 is again the same operation. B star T3. Finally the last one. So T5 is equal to T2 plus T4 and this is very simple. T2 plus T4. T2 is this part and T4 is B star minus C. So when you add this, you will find the RHS entire. So that is stored in T5 and finally that T5 has to be stored in A. So this is the 3 address code. No doubt there are repetitions here, but for easier purpose they have made it. Otherwise, you can directly use them. Okay. Then in that case it will be like instead of T4, when I don't want to calculate these two steps, okay, then this will be like T2 plus T2, okay, and you can store T2 plus T2 in T3, so T3 is assigned to A. So that is also possible. Now how the quadruple looks for this 3 address code. Or we say argument 1, argument 2 and finally the result. This looks a self-explanatory. Look at this T1. You call them as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what we have written. Okay. For the first expression, that is T1 is equal to minus C. The operator is minus and it has only one argument, that is C, and there is no second operator, and the result will be stored in T1. That is for index 0. Now for this T2 computation, B will be the first argument and T1 is the second argument, and the operation what we have performed is star. The result will be stored in T2. Similarly, T3 and T4 we can compute here because both these two and these two are exactly same, only the temporary variables are different. Looking at this, T5 is equal to T2 plus T4. Plus is an operation or operator that will come here. And T2 is the first argument, T4 is the second argument, T2 and T4 respectively. The result will be stored in T5. Then last one is A is equal to T5. T5 is the only one argument plus equal to is the operation and the result will be stored in. So this writing 3 address code is very simple, and we have the flexibility also because there are 3 versions: quadruples, triples and indirect triples. Now you come to know what is a quadruple. Can you tell me what could be the triples? So quadruple will have 4 terms. Now the triple will have 3 terms. Okay. But out of these 4, that is opcode, argument 1, argument 2 and result, triples will have only 3. So tell me what could be missing. We cannot miss opcode or the operation, we cannot miss R1, we cannot miss R2, we can miss this. So this result part will be eliminated when I talk about triples. Again, triples, there are 2 ways. One is normal triples. So by default we call them as normal triples, and second one is indirect triples. Now we'll see what are those triples and indirect triples. So triples I'll try to do it in this class. If I won't get sufficient time, then probably in the next class I'll be completing triples and indirect triples. Triples will do it now. Indirect triples, and there is one more topic last that we'll be covering in the next class. Okay, I'll try to modify this itself. Next heading is triples. I'll read the definition. Triple has only 3 fields which we call as OP, that is operation, argument 1 and R2. Note that the result field is used primarily for temporary storage in case of quadruples. Okay. Now using triples we can refer to the result of an operation by its position rather than the explicit. So we'll take positions here instead of taking the temporary variables. Okay. How this will be written? We'll take the same example. Now how this quadruples will be written? When the tree is constructed for this expression, the directed acyclic graph, how it looks? We'll construct directed acyclic graph for this expression. A is equal to B star minus C plus B star minus C. Equal to will be the main root. You tell me whether it is a directed acyclic graph or whether it is syntax tree. I'll draw it. Syntax tree or parse tree. what it is? It is not a directed acyclic graph. This is a syntax tree or a parse tree because the repetitions are allowed here. B star minus C, B star minus C are doing twice. So this is a normal syntax tree, but you can convert this to a directed acyclic graph. How? A has appeared once. These parts are common. Okay. So you can directly write 1, okay, like this. One side, either left side or right side you can compute. Then you can directly give a link here, from here to here itself. Which is already done. So when I want to convert this to a directed graph, directed acyclic graph, how it looks like? From plus, instead of taking a star here, you can directly give like this also. That automatically becomes a directed acyclic graph. Both left child and right child of this is same. So you can take a right child and give a link. Yes, so that will automatically, and this part won't be there. So this is called as directed acyclic graph. For time being, we'll have only now syntax tree. I am writing triples. So in triples, we don't have this result part. This part will be eliminated. Now the positions will be upward. There's a difference between quadruples and triples. In quadruples, we have a result field. So that result field will contain the temporary variables. Whereas in triples, we don't have result field. Instead, we are referring the positions. Positions are nothing but the indices or the indexes. How those will be reflected here? So this is change from quadruples to triples. First, minus C is stored at location 0. Okay. Now when I want to compute this, T2 is equal to B star T1. Star is the operator, B is the first argument, second argument is 0 in bracket. Means we are referring here the position of location 0. So that is nothing but minus C. So this is B star minus C. Now again minus C is computed. Now this is like B star, the value which is stored at location number 2. So that is minus C. Now look at this T5. Here we don't have T5. T2 plus T4. So plus is there. This 1 is the result of B star minus C. 1 will hold the result of B star minus C, and 3 will also hold the result of B star minus C. So location 1 and location 3 needs to be added. So location 1 and location 3 has to be added with an operator plus. And finally that A is equal to RHS can be done as equal to is the operation. A is the first argument and the result is 4. 4 covers 4 location, deals with all these. So at location 4 we have the result of B star minus C plus B star minus C that has to be initialized to A. So that will be done in 5. So this is about triples. But when you compare triples with quadruples, quadruples looks simpler because we can take help of temporary variables. This is also simple, but here instead of temporary variables we have to take the positions, okay, or the index of where those results are stored. Then the last topic is indirect triples. That also I'll be covering now itself since I have time. With small examples. You might be aware of what is an indirect in assembler, indirect addressing. I guess this is same. Okay, fine. We are taking the same example. So this is the table, exactly same. Okay. Now how the instructions will be written? Indirectly we are using it. I'll read the definition. Uh, Indirect triples consists of a listing of pointers to triples. Pointers to triples rather than a listing of triples themselves. So instead of listing those triples, what we have to have a pointer to the triples. This is in case of indirect triples. I'll read it again. Indirect triples consists of a listing of pointers to the triples rather than the listing of triples themselves. So this is an array of instructions and that is a triples. So this completes the important topic of tree address code. And this indirect triples, triples and quadruples will be handled by the compiler automatically whenever the intermediate code wants to be generated. There is one topic left for your syllabus and that topic is translation of expressions. So this we'll try to cover it in the next class. Okay. Fine, I'll stop here.